We have a 2001 Ford Explorer Sport Trac. We're going to go through the steps in order to replace the fuel pump. One of the first things you want to do is bleed the pressure off the system using the relief valve on your pressure gauge. Always be sure and capture the fuel into a safe container. Be sure and disconnect the negative battery cable before beginning the repair. In order to do a proper fuel pump replacement, we need to clean the inside of the tank, and that will require the removal of the tank. At the rear of the tank, remove the fuel filler hose and vent hose. Because of the age of the vehicle, these may become difficult to remove. Also, at the rear of the tank, you'll disconnect your electrical connection. With the tank shield removed, we can now properly support the tank and remove the tank straps. To ease in the removal of the tank, remove the tank strap from the frame. There's only one tank strap securing the tank, and then there are two bolts going through the front cross member. Only lower the tank a slight amount. You could run the risk of kinking the fuel line and damaging it. When disconnecting the fuel line, there may be residual fuel. Be sure and capture this into a safe container. Disconnect the emissions line and remove the tank from the vehicle. Be sure and clean the outside of the tank before removing the module assembly. This will keep any unwanted debris from entering the tank. First, we'll disconnect the tank pressure sensor. We'll remove the fuel line retainer clip. We will reuse this on the new module. Remove the 6 retaining bolts holding the module in the tank. Be aware of the locating arrow that is on top of the hanger assembly. It's a good idea to mark the location of this arrow on the top of the tank. This will help to locate the new pump during installation. Remove the pump and discard the tank seal. At this point, we need to drain the remaining fuel into a safe container and then clean the inside of the tank. We want to be sure that the tank is as clean as possible to allow a clean environment for the fuel pump. With the inside of the tank thoroughly cleaned, we're ready to install the new Airtex hanger assembly. The tank seal is attached to the bottom of the flange. Align the arrow on the flange to the mark we made earlier, then bolt the pump into the tank. To avoid damage to the tank or the flange, be sure and torque the bolts to manufacturer's specs using a crisscross pattern. Reattach the tank pressure sensor. For ease of installation, install the fuel line retainer clip into the fuel line fitting. With the tank partially raised into position, reattach the emissions line, your fuel line, and the electrical connection. With the tank fully raised into position, install the front mounting bolts loosely. This will allow you to position the tank in order to reinstall the strap. With the fuel tank securely fastened, reinstall the tank shield. At the rear of the tank, reattach the fuel vent line and filler hose. With the repair complete, we'll now reattach the negative battery cable. Cycle the key 3 to 4 times in order to charge the system. Start the vehicle and monitor fuel pressure, making sure it's within vehicle specifications. Now, before we remove our pressure gauge, we'll shut the vehicle off and bleed the pressure using our pressure gauge, making sure to capture any fuel into a safe container.